Picture this. You're at a party, feeling completely out of place, when someone quietly sits beside you and says, "You know, I hate these things too. Want to talk about something real instead?" Without knowing it, you've just met an INFJ, and your night is about to get a whole lot better. INFJs make up less than 3% of the population, which means most of us are walking around never knowing we're missing out on meeting some of the kindest, most genuine people on the planet. These rare souls have this almost magical ability to make you feel seen, heard, and valued in ways you didn't even know you needed. Today, we're diving into what makes these quiet champions of kindness so incredibly special. If you've ever wondered why certain people just seem to get you on a deeper level, or why some conversations stick with you for years, chances are you've encountered an INFJ. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why these beautiful hearts are considered the kindest people you'll ever meet, and maybe you'll recognize one in your own life. 1. They feel your pain like it's their own. INFJs don't just sympathize with your struggles, they literally feel them. It's like they've got emotional superpowers that let them tap directly into what you're experiencing. When you're heartbroken, they feel that ache in their chest too. When you're anxious about something, they'll actually lose sleep thinking about your situation. This isn't just being a good friend, it's having a nervous system that's wired for connection. INFJs can walk into a room and instantly sense the emotional temperature. They'll pick up on tension you didn't even realize was there, or notice when someone's smile doesn't quite reach their eyes. But here's what makes this extraordinary. Instead of being overwhelmed by all these feelings, they use them to love people better. They'll know exactly when to send that encouraging text, when to give you space, or when you need someone to just sit with you in silence. Their emotional radar becomes your safety net. This deep empathy means conversations with INFJs feel different. They're not just waiting for their turn to talk, they're absorbing every word, feeling every emotion, and responding from a place of genuine understanding. It's like having someone truly witness your experience instead of just hearing your story. 2. They see the good in everyone, even when others can't. While most people write others off after one bad interaction, INFJs see potential everywhere. They're like human metal detectors, but instead of finding coins, they find the gold buried deep in people's hearts. Even when someone's being difficult, rude, or seemingly impossible, an INFJ will look deeper and wonder, what hurt is driving this behavior? This isn't naive optimism. INFJs are actually incredibly perceptive about people's flaws and darker sides. But they choose to focus on the light. They'll see the insecure teenager behind the class bully, the frightened person behind the angry outburst, or the wounded heart behind the cold exterior. Their belief in people often becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When someone feels truly seen and believed in by an INFJ, they often rise to meet those expectations. It's like INFJs have this magical ability to call forth the best version of people just by believing it exists. This perspective shapes every interaction they have. They approach each person with curiosity rather than judgment, wondering about their story instead of writing them off based on first impressions. In a world that's quick to cancel and condemn, INFJs offer the radical gift of hope in human goodness. 3. They remember the little things that matter to you. 3 months ago, you casually mentioned that you're terrified of presentations. Today, you get a text from your INFJ friend, "Hey, isn't your big presentation today? You've got this. I believe in you." This isn't coincidence. This is an INFJ's superpower of caring about the details that make you who you are. INFJs file away everything you share because they're genuinely fascinated by what makes you tick. They remember your favorite coffee order, the book that changed your life, your childhood fear of thunderstorms, and that dream job you mentioned wanting someday. These details aren't just small talk to them. They're pieces of your soul that help them understand and love you better. But here's where it gets really beautiful. They act on these memories. They'll surprise you with your favorite snack when you're stressed, avoid topics that trigger your anxiety, or bring up that thing you're passionate about because they know it lights you up. These gestures might seem small, but they have enormous impact because they prove you've been truly seen and heard. Their attention to detail also creates incredible emotional safety. They remember your boundaries, your sensitive topics, and your triggers, which allows them to navigate your friendship with remarkable thoughtfulness. In a world where people are constantly distracted and forgetting what matters to us, having someone who truly pays attention feels like coming home. For they give without expecting anything back. INFJs operate from a place of genuine abundance when it comes to giving. They don't keep scorecards, expect immediate returns, or give with strings attached. When they help you move apartments, listen to you vent at 2 a.m., or go out of their way to support you, it's because they genuinely want it and not because they're hoping for something in return. This selfless approach to relationships is increasingly rare. While many people give with hidden expectations or unspoken contracts, INFJs give from the heart. They'll spend their entire weekend helping you through a crisis and never mention it later or use it as leverage. Their generosity comes from an internal well of compassion rather than external obligation. Their giving extends far beyond their close relationships too. You'll find INFJs volunteering at shelters, donating anonymously to causes they care about, or simply helping strangers with their groceries. They're motivated by a genuine desire to make the world a little bit better, one small act at a time. Even when they're struggling with their own challenges, INFJs will still find ways to support others. Their instinct to care doesn't disappear during tough times. If anything, their own experiences with pain make them even more determined to ease others' suffering. This authentic motivation makes their kindness feel warm and genuine rather than calculated or performative. 5. They create safe spaces where you can be authentic. There's something almost magical about being in conversation with an INFJ. Suddenly, you find yourself sharing things you've never told anyone before. It's like they create this invisible bubble of safety where your masks can drop and your real self can breathe. People often walk away from INFJ conversations feeling lighter, more understood, and somehow more themselves. This safety isn't accidental. INFJs are masters at reading emotional needs and adjusting their energy accordingly. They know instinctively when to speak and when to listen, when to offer advice and when to just witness, when to challenge you gently and when to simply accept where you are. They're like emotional chameleons, shifting to create exactly the environment you need. Their non-judgmental presence is the secret ingredient. INFJs understand that everyone carries shame, makes mistakes, and has parts of themselves they're not proud of. Instead of judging these human imperfections, they accept them as natural parts of the human experience. This acceptance gives people permission to be real instead of perfect. The safety extends beyond just emotional vulnerability. INFJs create intellectual safe spaces too, where you can share wild ideas, unpopular opinions, or half-formed thoughts without fear of ridicule. This openness often leads to the most meaningful conversations of people's lives, the kind where real growth and connection happen. 6. They notice when you're struggling even when you hide it well. INFJs have this almost supernatural ability to detect pain behind smiles. They'll pick up on the slight tremor in your voice, the way your laugh sounds forced, or how your usual energy seems a bit dimmed. It's like they have emotional X-ray vision that can see through all the "I'm fine" walls people build. This perception comes from their combination of intuition and deep care. They're constantly processing micro-expressions, vocal tones, and behavioral changes that most people miss completely. But more than that, they pay attention to who you really are, so they notice even subtle shifts from your normal self. What makes this truly special is their response. They won't embarrass you by calling out your struggles publicly or making a big scene. Instead, they'll find gentle, private ways to let you know they see you. Maybe it's a thoughtful text, an invitation for coffee, or simply sitting with you in comfortable silence until you're ready to talk. Their approach always respects your autonomy. If you're not ready to open up, they won't push or pry. But they'll make it clear, in subtle ways, that they see your pain and they're available when you need them. Sometimes it's just a knowing look or a gentle touch that says, "I see you're hurting and you're not alone." 7. They listen with their whole being. When an INFJ listens to you, you get their complete and undivided attention. They're not formulating their response, checking their phone, or thinking about their grocery list. They're totally present with you, hanging on every word and genuinely absorbing everything you're trying to communicate. This kind of deep listening is becoming incredibly rare in our distracted world. Their listening goes way beyond just hearing words. INFJs tune into what you're not saying, the emotions lurking beneath your story, the fears you're not expressing, the hopes you're afraid to voice out loud. They hear the complete message, not just the surface content, which is why conversations with them feel so satisfying and complete. INFJs ask the kind of follow-up questions that show they're really thinking about what you've shared. They'll help you explore your own thoughts and feelings more deeply, reflect back what they've heard to make sure they understand, and guide you toward insights you might not have reached on your own. Many people find themselves opening up more to INFJs than they ever intended to. Their patient, engaged presence creates an environment where people feel safe going deeper, sharing the real stuff that's on their hearts. It's common to hear someone say after talking to an INFJ, "I can't believe I just told you all of that. I've never shared that with anyone before." 8. They fight for justice and stand up for the underdog. INFJs have moral compasses that point them straight toward fairness and justice. They absolutely cannot stand to see people being treated poorly, and they'll step in to defend those who can't defend themselves. This isn't about being confrontational, it's about their deep belief that every person deserves dignity and respect. You'll often find INFJs drawn to causes that protect the vulnerable, support marginalized communities, or fight against unfair systems. They're not doing this for recognition or praise. They genuinely can't sleep at night knowing there's suffering they could help prevent or injustice they could help correct. In personal relationships, this translates to INFJs being fierce protectors of their loved ones. If someone's treating their friend, family member, or partner poorly, an INFJ will absolutely step in. They might not be the loudest person in the room, but they'll be the one quietly making sure everyone's being treated with kindness and fairness. Their approach to advocacy is thoughtful and strategic rather than reactive. They'll research issues thoroughly, consider multiple perspectives, and think carefully about the most effective ways to create positive change. They're more interested in actually solving problems than in making noise about them. 9. They forgive quickly and don't hold grudges. INFJs have this remarkable capacity for forgiveness that comes from their deep understanding of human nature. They recognize that people make mistakes, act out of pain, or sometimes just have really bad days. Instead of holding on to resentment or keeping score of past hurts, they tend to forgive genuinely and move forward. This doesn't mean they're pushovers or doormats. INFJs absolutely have boundaries, and they can forgive while still protecting themselves from repeated harm. They understand the difference between forgiving someone and enabling bad behavior. They'll give people chances to do better, but they're wise enough to step back if those chances keep getting wasted. Their forgiveness comes from understanding rather than weakness. When someone hurts them, INFJs often take time to consider what pain or fear might have driven that behavior. This perspective helps them respond with compassion while still maintaining their own emotional health and safety. What's really beautiful is that INFJs don't weaponize past mistakes during current conflicts. When they've truly forgiven something, they let it go completely instead of storing it up to use later. This creates relationships built on trust and forward momentum rather than resentment and scorekeeping. 10. They encourage your dreams, no matter how crazy they seem. INFJs are natural champions of people's dreams and aspirations. They have this beautiful ability to see potential in others and encourage them to pursue their goals, no matter how ambitious, unconventional, or impractical those dreams might seem to everyone else. They're the friends who believe in your crazy business idea, support your decision to change careers at 40, or encourage you to pursue that creative passion everyone else thinks is unrealistic. Their encouragement isn't just empty cheerleading or toxic positivity. INFJs take the time to really understand your dreams and why they matter to you. They'll ask thoughtful questions about your goals, help you think through potential challenges, and offer practical support when they can. Their belief in you feels genuine because it's based on their deep understanding of who you are and what you're capable of achieving. They're incredibly supportive of personal growth and self-improvement too. Whether you want to get healthier, learn a new skill, work on emotional healing, or develop a talent, an INFJ will be your biggest cheerleader. They'll celebrate your small wins, encourage you through setbacks, and remind you of how far you've come when you're feeling discouraged about your progress. What makes INFJ encouragement truly special is that it's perfectly tailored to what you actually need in the moment. They know when you need a gentle push and when you need patient support. They understand when to challenge you to reach higher and when to simply validate exactly where you are right now. Their support often extends beyond words too. They'll research opportunities for you, make helpful connections, or offer practical assistance with your goals because they're genuinely invested in seeing you succeed. Conclusion: INFJs truly are some of the rarest and kindest hearts you'll ever have the privilege of knowing. Their unique combination of deep empathy, genuine care, and intuitive understanding creates a type of kindness that's both profound and authentic. They don't perform acts of kindness for show. They live kindness as a fundamental part of who they are. What makes INFJ kindness so extraordinary is its authenticity. It comes from a genuine place of wanting to make the world better and wanting to help every person they meet feel valued, understood, and supported. Their kindness is a gift they offer freely, without keeping score or expecting anything in return. If you have an INFJ in your life, you already know how incredibly fortunate you are to experience this level of care and understanding. If you are an INFJ watching this, please know that your kindness makes a real, lasting difference in people's lives, even when you can't see the impact immediately. The world desperately needs more of the thoughtful, authentic kindness that INFJs bring to every interaction. In a time when superficial connections and self-interest often dominate, the deep, genuine care that INFJs offer reminds us of what human connection can be at its absolute best. Whether you're an INFJ yourself or you're blessed to have one in your life, remember that this kind of kindness deserves to be recognized, appreciated, and protected. Most importantly, it deserves to be reciprocated with the same authentic care and consideration that INFJs give so generously to everyone around them.